All right, guys, it is our third day to learn the Bible verse. So let's go ahead and practice it. You should be getting really good at this one. So we're going to say it together for 3 times, and then I'm going to speed it up just a little bit. Do it with the hand motions, but I'm going to be silent. Are you ready? What time I am afraid, I will trust in thee. Psalms 56:3. Let's try it again. What time I am afraid, I will trust in thee. Psalms 56:3. One more time with me. What time I am afraid, I will trust in thee. Psalms 56:3. Now I'm going to say it with my mouth, but you won't hear any words. You will see my hand motions. Let's do it together. Did you get it? Good job. All right, let's see what our Bible story is today. It's called A Sheet Full of Animals. That sounds like my bed at night. I got animals all over my bed sheets. Do you think it's the same thing? Probably not. Let's see what their sheet full of animals is. The good news about Jesus was spreading because everyone was talking about Jesus. Many people chose not to listen, and many risked their lives, and they believed. The time had come, though, for more people than just the Jews to hear the good news. Many times in Jewish history, God spoke through his prophets. He had said how they would come from the Jewish people a light. This was Jesus. The light would save the world. Even Jesus had said his teaching was the first for the Jews. Later it would be for all people from all over the world. So God used the prophets to talk and spread messages. And he said he was going to send a light first to the Jewish people. That light was who? That light was Jesus. And Jesus was first sent to help the Jewish people. And then he was sent for everybody. So he did first help the Jewish people. But today, does he help you and me? He does. So let's see what happens after that. This was one of the reasons why the religious leaders had hated him so much. They liked being God's chosen and only people. Now the time had come for all of that to change. God had made this clear to 2 men, Peter and a man named Cornelius. Cornelius, he was not Jewish. That means he was not from the same place as Jesus and most of his other friends. He was a Roman centurion, or an army officer. He was from the Roman Empire, and he was in their army. He was in charge over 100 Roman soldiers. Even so, he and his whole family believed in the one true God. And Cornelius, he was a man of prayer. He often gave his money to the poor. One afternoon, Cornelius was praying. He had a vision. That means he saw something very special. He saw an angel who called out, "Cornelius!" And he says, "What is it, Lord?" He stared at the angel. He was afraid. "God has heard your prayers. He is pleased with all your gifts to the poor. He is ready to answer you. Now, send some of your men to Joppa. Tell them to find a man named Peter. He is living by the sea in the house of Simon the tanner." Cornelius did just as the angel had said. He sent 3 of his men, and these men were heading for Joppa. And then a strange thing happened. He was sitting on the roof of a house by the sea. This was Peter. He was sitting on the roof. And Peter, he had a vision too. He was waiting to go up. He had gone up there to pray while he was waiting for dinner. But suddenly, Peter saw the sky open up. A great sheet was lowered down, and inside were all kinds of animals and birds. A voice told him, "Get up, Peter. It's all right if you eat these animals." Peter said, "Oh no, Lord, we're not allowed to eat these kinds of things. I've never eaten food which is unclean by your law." Because there were lots of animals that God's people, the Jewish people, were told not to eat. And then these animals came down, and God told him, "It's okay to eat these." But he said, "No, I listen to your law, God. I don't eat those kind of animals." Then, for a second and third time, the voice told him, "Don't call anything unclean that God has made clean." And then the sheet was lifted back up into the sky. So there were all kinds of different animals, like a pig, that God's people, the Jewish people originally, they were not allowed to eat. But God said, "It's okay. Don't call them unclean because I have made them clean." So just like God made all of us his people, he made all of the animals clean. And he said, "It's okay. You can go ahead and eat them." Have you ever eaten a hamburger? That's an animal. Have you ever eaten a nice piece of yummy crunchy bacon? Well, some of those things they weren't allowed to eat because God told them don't eat them. Well, God said it's okay. So, do you think they got to enjoy some of God's blessings? Because God told them it was clean and it was okay.